Yes, you read that correctly. I sold my Sony FX30. Before you guys start freaking out and going in the comment section and having a big bashing parade, let me explain myself. There's not much I can say other than I absolutely love the Sony FX30. And I know what you're thinking to yourself, if I loved it so much, why in the world would I sell it? That decision did not come lightly. I actually sold it for the camera that is filming me right now, which is the Sony FX3. One of the main reasons I actually sold the FX30 was because I loved it so much. I know that makes zero sense, but the fact that I love that camera so much, it made me realize that the Sony FX3 was the perfect camera for me. Now, the decision was between selling my Sony A7IV and my Sony FX30 to pick up the FX3. And ultimately, what it came down to was the fact that whichever camera is going to be my B/backup camera, I want it to be more of a seamless transition if something were to happen and I had to use a backup camera. I felt like sticking with full frame consistently through both cameras was going to effectively make that the easiest process. Now, in hindsight, do I think that the Sony FX3 is that much better than the Sony FX30? In some ways, absolutely yes, it is. In other ways, no, it's not. For a lot of people, I don't think it would actually make sense to have the Sony FX3. For me specifically, because of the fact that I do real estate and events, and I do all of these types of shoots where low light is an inevitability. I was definitely one of those people that saw the dual base ISO of 12,800 and I was like, that is overkill. I don't see why anybody would need that. Until I used it, that is. There's been zero situations that I've encountered since owning this camera that I don't feel 100% confident that I'm going to get a nice, clean, usable image out of. And that is worth the price of admission alone. Having the confidence in the gear that you own, that it's going to get the job done no matter what you throw at it, is everything that you need and more. What I found a lot when I had the Sony FX30 and the Sony A7IV was that I was jumping between cameras a lot. I was like using, oh, I can use this for this one, or I can use this Sony A7IV for this event, I can use this for this, I can use that for that. And sometimes that gets a little bit tiresome. I've been wanting this Sony FX3 for a few years now, ever since it was released. And honestly, just getting my hands on that Sony FX30 was really what inevitably sold me for this camera. Now, I don't have many bad things to say about the FX30. If you've seen any of the videos that I've done on this channel regarding the Sony FX30, I highly regarded that camera and I definitely recommend it to a lot of people. For me, this made a lot of sense. For other people, it might not. You really have to sit back and think what you need, what you're going to be using it for, and then make your decision from there. I hope this video does not deter anybody from thinking that the FX30 is not a capable camera. It very much is. The Sony FX3 is just better for my personal workflow. And I think that's the point that I'm trying to get across. Make sure that you're being truthful with yourself about what you are doing. What are your goals you're trying to accomplish? Are you making short films? Are you going to be lighting everything? Are you going to be doing events? Are you going to be doing weddings? Are you going to be doing real estate? Whatever it is that you're doing, take the time, look at the specs of each and every camera that's on the market versus what your budget is, and make a decision based off of what's going to match your needs. If you have any questions about the Sony FX3, the Sony FX30, the A7IV, any of those things, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you want to see more content coming soon, please consider subscribing, and I will catch you guys in the next one.